This week, we are looking at a growing wildlife health issue that is reshaping how scientists and wildlife managers approach the conservation of North America's deer and elk. Chronic wasting disease, commonly referred to as zombie deer disease. This fatal neurological illness affects cervids, animals such as elk, deer, and mule deer, and has been spreading steadily across the United States since its discovery in 1967. Although it has not yet been detected in Oregon, its recent arrival in neighboring Idaho has heightened concern, especially for wildlife populations that are already vulnerable. One species drawing particular attention is the Columbian white-tailed deer, a rare subspecies found only in 2 regions of Oregon. These deer possess very little natural genetic defense against CWD, raising fears about how they might fare if the disease enters their habitat. At the same time, new research offers a more hopeful outlook for another key Oregon species, elk. A recent study conducted at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign examined genetic patterns within Oregon's elk population. Researchers found that roughly half of these animals carry a gene variant known to reduce susceptibility to CWD. While this resistance cannot stop the disease outright, it may help slow its spread once it reaches the state. We previously tested a small number of Columbian white-tailed deer in Oregon's Douglas County, and we found that they were genetically very disadvantaged when it came to CWD. We didn't find the protective variant of the gene in a single deer, said corresponding author Alfred Roca, professor of animal sciences at Illinois. That's why we wanted to look at the Oregon elk population. Because if the elk gets CWD, it's quite likely that Columbian white-tailed deer will get it as well. To understand why genetics matter, it helps to know how CWD works. The disease is caused by prions, which are misfolded proteins capable of triggering surrounding healthy proteins to misfold as well. Once prions begin to accumulate in an infected animal, they cause progressive neurological deterioration. There is no cure, no effective treatment, and the disease is always fatal. CWD spreads through direct contact between animals but also through the environment. Contaminated soil, plants, and even water sources can harbor infectious prions for years. This persistence means that once a landscape becomes contaminated, eliminating the disease becomes extremely difficult. Because the illness moves readily between different cervid species, a single infected animal can have ripple effects across an entire ecosystem. Normal prion proteins exist in all mammals, but the way they are encoded genetically can influence how easily they misfold in response to infectious prions. Past research has shown that certain variants of the PRNP gene, which guides the production of prion proteins, are linked to lower disease susceptibility. In elk, one important difference occurs at a specific point in the gene known as a codon. If this codon encodes for the amino acid leucine rather than methionine, the animal appears less likely to contract CWD. The research team sequenced the PRNP gene from 183 elk across Oregon, including both Rocky Mountain elk in the eastern regions and Roosevelt elk west of the Cascades. The results found 42% of Roosevelt elk and 49% of Rocky Mountain elk carried at least one copy of the leucine encoding allele. Compared with national averages, this represents a relatively high level of potentially protective genetics. So while Oregon's elk do not have complete protection, having a substantial portion with reduced susceptibility offers a meaningful buffer. It cannot halt the disease on its own, but it can buy time that wildlife managers can use to intervene strategically. While CWD poses a serious threat, proactive science-based management gives Oregon a fighting chance to slow its advance and protect its iconic cervid populations for generations to come. Don't stop here. Find out more. Visit the links in the description below for more in-depth information on the stories presented in this video. Or if you are a part of a wildlife organization doing something interesting right now, let us know in the comments.